Right, to the questions, the quick fire round questions to this expert panel that we've got with us this evening. First one's going to you, Joe, please. And that question is a summary of what is the process of buying in Portugal?
So let's start at the top. The process, and probably the most important part, is finding the property that you want to buy. Obviously, there's a lot of background that goes into that before you do your searches online, I'm sure, and getting your finances in place. And obviously, we can help with that, or should I say, Claudia can certainly help with that. From the time of finding the property that suits your needs, whether that be for a golden visa purpose or relocation purpose or holiday home purpose, we can help with all of those. We do have good legal teams that we work with. As we said, André is here today. We work closely with NMA. He will take care of all the legal side of things. Claudia, she will take care of any financing that you would need on those properties. There are certain costs that are involved. We tend to say around about the 8% mark should cover pretty much all your buying costs, including your lawyer's fees, notaries, and transfer costs. It's a pretty straightforward process. We've been doing this a long time. So as we said, we can do as much or as little as you want. If it's just the case that you want us to put forward an offer and get you the property, you know, an agreement on the property, then step back and let you take care of everything else, we're more than happy to do that. And at the same time, we are there for you every single step of the way. If you want us to be there, hold your hand from start to finish, we can make that happen, no problem.
Thanks, Joe. Next question I'm going to you, Claudia, if I may, which is around the timeframes involved in the process. So that being from finding a property, offer accepted, completion, and taking ownership of that exciting asset. What's the kind of timeframes involved from start to finish, Claudia, please?
Okay, so the time frame does depend also on which bank we are going to use, because we work with various different banks, so it does vary slightly. On average, from the day the clients have accepted an offer on a property and we receive all their supporting documentation, it takes around 5 to 6 weeks until completion, until they can take ownership of the property. Normally, what we do like a pre-qualification of the client. So before they might go to Joe even to look for properties, clients would like to see how much they can borrow. So that will, of course, if the pre-analysis has already been done and we know that the clients are eligible for a certain loan amount or loan to value, that will speed up. So that's not included in these 5 to 6 weeks time frame.
Thank you. Great. Next question is a fairly generic one, but one that's probably resulted in the amount of demand for this evening's event, which is around how strong the actual market is in Portugal, which I'm going to go to Joe for, if I may, because I know you've been particularly busy all day, every hour of every day at the moment due to demand, but perhaps you can alleviate a little bit as to why we're in demand at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the market at the minute is probably one of the strongest I've ever seen it. What's happening right now, especially surrounding Golden Visa, there's a lot of US clients that are buying, and it's simply a case of supply and demand. There is not enough properties coming to the market. There's not enough properties getting built, and therefore there's a lack of property, which keeps the prices really high. And we've seen again a huge demand for properties this year, and until there's a lot more building going to be going on, I don't see where the properties are going to come from. Right now, as I said, we've got people looking on a big scale to move permanently to Portugal, as they see it as a great place to live, the cost of living, all the other great things that go with living in Portugal, areas of low density, people can work remotely. All these things have made a massive difference. And then with the change in the Golden Visa coming in, it's now made the Golden Visa even more affordable. So we are seeing a lot more of those kind of properties from 280, 350 and up. So a lot more of those properties are getting bought up under the Golden Visa scheme still.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to jump back to Joe, if I may, because there's still loads of questions coming in around property and wheres and what's. So the questions that I'm going to give, and you'll probably alleviate a little bit out of them, so I'm going to give you a few because it's all somewhat connected. This is what area is the best location to buy? I'm looking at one from an investment perspective. There's also questions around price range for a 3-bedroom close to the waterfront, which came in from Robert as well this evening. Joe, over to you to ask those ones.
When it comes down to what areas are best to buy, question to I'm always going to be biased. I live in the Algarve. I love the Algarve. I think it's a beautiful area, and pretty much everybody that's bought there has made money. I don't know many people that have lost money there. Great for investment, and as is Porto. I've bought there and sold there myself, and I've done very well out of it. So there's some really good areas, again, all round Portugal. Right now, Madeira is a good option as well, as the Golden Visa program's still running there. We're seeing that property prices are starting to increase quite rapidly over there. So that there's many options, and as I say, the best area. A lot of the time people are buying it for investment, but they're also buying as a mix. They want to use it as a holiday home, maybe rent it out, make some passive income. Again, there's lots of good areas. The Algarve does offer a great holiday destination, so you're always going to make reasonable returns on your investments there. What was the second part of that question, Steve? The price?
Yeah, so Robert asked around a 3-bedroom close to the waterfront, which with a massive coastline, there's a few options there, I'd imagine.
Lots of options, and I would say, again, you could find something up in around Nazaré, so on the Silver Coast, that is probably around about the 400 to 450,000 mark. But I think if you're looking across the Algarve, you're going to be paying a lot more. And, the types of properties you would find, I would say, around that price range in places like Nazaré or somewhere along the Silver Coast there, you're going to be looking at older traditional style properties that are going to need some renovation. Properties on the Algarve can range anywhere from 700,000-800,000. You could look at a 3-bedroom apartment for 1.6 million. So the price ranges are quite vast. Again, it depends on the age of the property, where the properties are located across the Algarve, and whether they're on a touristic resort or they're not on a touristic resort, and what is offered as services and amenities on those resorts. All these things play in and have a factor.
Thank you. And Paul's asked a question from the audience as well, which I think you kind of answered a little bit earlier on as well, but he asks, do you think the current crazy prices are a bubble which is unsustainable with raising interest rates and a lack of fundamentals, i.e. income? On that point, I see this a lot because I've been helping people do this for over a decade now, and it's also a bit of a culture thing, I think, Joe, to be honest. The Brits will normally go, oh, the prices are going up, I'll wait for it to come down a bit, whereas the Germans, for example, will go, well, the prices are going up, I want to get in now. But maybe you'll have another comment around these crazy prices at the moment.
I mean, yeah, I've been buying properties for 25 years, and the only time to buy was yesterday. So what I tell everybody, are the prices crazy now? Maybe they are. Maybe we look at these in 5 years' time and go, I can't believe that those were the prices then, and look at where we are now. It seems, everybody's a little bit afraid of property prices coming down a little bit. It's all just part of the cycle. So unless you are buying in or buying a property for a very quick return, then yeah, you've got bigger risks. But if this is a long time investment for you, I don't see the market going any other way than what it's always done since records began, and that's go up. There's a reason the saying's there, isn't it? Nothing safer than houses. Yeah, there's always going to be fluctuations, as there is with anything. But if somebody said to me 5 years ago they thought the prices were too expensive, I'd agreed with them then too. But we are way past those points that we were 5 years ago. and they're still going up
I
now.
don't think I'm hogging the limelight. I'm going to go back to Joe if I may with some more questions that are coming for Joe. He's asked, well, they've asked whether or not you can help with the rental out of a property once they've bought it, Joe. Is that a service that you can provide directly or provide introductions to?
We can, depending on where it is, again, we can either provide it or we can point you in the right direction. You know, we work closely with a lot of rental companies up and down the country.
Great. As we're coming to the last 10-15 minutes, I'm going to go into a bit of a power session because we've still got loads of questions, which unfortunately we haven't got through yet this evening. Another one for you, Joe, is that I found a property that I like listed with another agent. Can I come to you and work with you on the property? That's a nice compliment. There you go, Joe.
Yes and no. I mean, if you found something through another agency, you know, I wouldn't like it if you went to somebody else. However, if you didn't want to work with them for some particular reason, then yes, you can always approach us and we can work something out.
Thank you. And one that's come in around removal services as well. This is obviously someone relocating from somewhere, moving over to Portugal, or they might theoretically be moving back, I suppose. But do you have any connections with regards to the removal service?
Again, it depends on where they're coming in from. Yeah, a lot of the
wider answer will presumably yes.
Yeah, we deal with a lot of people all around the world, so the likelihood is yes, but I can't say 100% yes because there'll be certain areas that we just don't have those links with.